Hello everyone, this is Ronnie from UK Fruitfest, and I've got a brand new book coming out now called Raw Vegan Myths Debunked 2, which is coming out exclusively as part of the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle. The Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle is a collaboration of 36 contributors, authors, leaders, influencers from the raw vegan movement who have come together to provide a bundle of ebooks and courses and programs that are designed to help people live a better life, a healthier life with a raw vegan diet. And you can check the link below. It's available for a short period of time, very cheap price. And I think it will be of great value to a lot of you. So you can look at the link below for more information about that. For now, I'm going to talk to you about one of the chapters in my book, and that is on the concept of barley grass juice powder. Now, I have seen, and you may have seen, many people promote barley grass juice powder of various brands. And some people have even suggested that this is almost a necessary supplement for people on a raw vegan diet. So the argument goes, usually, you know, the conventional diet has so many supplements in it, and that needs to be supplemented and so on. And the raw vegan diet doesn't have any supplements added to it. And the reason that we need that is because the soil has been depleted, and the farmers have done a bad job. The soil is depleted, monocrops, the food has less nutrition than ever, and we need to supplement. And we should at least safeguard ourselves with some kind of broad-based nutritional supplement. And apparently, for some reason, barley grass juice powder is the one to go for. Barley, of course, being one of the most grown crops in the world, a starch, a legume starch, whatever it is. And before it turns into that, it produces a grass. Kind of like grass, like you look out the window, you see grass. And then that grass is taken and dried, and juice is extracted. And this, I think, comes from China. I think it's a Chinese herbalist background to this concept. And somehow this is meant to be very healthy and nutritious. So I'm skeptical about it. From the get-go, I'm skeptical. Skeptical about supplements, skeptical about foods. I've talked about that in my first book, and the evidence from my first book was, firstly, soil depletion, total myth. There's no evidence to suggest that soil, broad-based around the world, we're losing topsoil. There's no soil left. There's no nutrition in the foods. All of that incorrect, or at least no evidence. And the evidence is really on the other side. So, no evidence. By the way, how many people have mineral deficiencies? Not a problem. Not a problem. Oh, apparently everyone's eating deficient food, but there's barely any mineral deficiencies going around. They basically never happened, ever. Mineral deficiencies, so rare. Vitamin deficiencies happened, still really rare. Really rare for any of these things to ever happen. But people get really scared about them, especially when they change their diet, get really scared about deficiency. It's not really something to worry about generally. So the soil isn't depleted. The food isn't depleted. Raw vegans don't report mineral deficiencies. So why are people worried about this? Well, people have anxieties about these things and about their diet. But regardless of all that, barley grass juice powder, is it something that's good? Does it have benefit to it? At the very least, is it like a safeguard? I mean, the information across the scientific community, mainstream science, consensus, get your nutrition from whole foods, not supplements. They're quite clear. Supplements are not the answer. Research on supplements don't show benefits in the way that fruits and vegetables show benefits. Multivitamins, lots of research done on these things. No benefit, could be a detriment. Problem is, sometimes people get overconfident. They have multivitamins and they think that means they get away with not having to do other things for their health, and it's not true. So multivitamins actually sometimes have been shown to have more incidence of disease connected with them. So generally, supplements, multivitamins, very little science behind it, no science behind the soil stuff, no science. And I'm just thinking, how is this idea spreading when there's so little information about it? Well, people seem to want it to be true. So let's look at barley grass juice powder. And look at, and I don't have anything against this product, Daily Green Boost, which is one of the famous ones, Daily Green Boost. I've tried it as part of some sauces that were at Canada Fruitfest. And it added a nice flavor. I liked the flavor that it added. So I think it adds a flavor, a color. From that perspective, it might be something you want to try out, maybe. And I think it's a safe thing to consume. I don't think there's any dangers around it. And I think they do a good job for what they do. So I've got nothing against Daily Green Boost, other than that I think that promoting it, for me, when people promote it, they're actually casting a shade on fruits and vegetables. And there's something in people. I remember we did a weekend with the UK Fruit Fest in London, and the different speakers are talking. We're trying to get, I'm trying to get people excited about fruit and vegetables and raw foods, and we're talking about raw food lifestyle and fruit and health and all that stuff. And the audience is sitting back and they're listening, taking it in. And then one of my friends, Elliot, was giving a presentation, and he put up a picture of his bike or something, or some fruit. And in the background, there was a jar of Daily Green Boost. Just so happened to be there in the background. And the audience was almost magnetized. What's that? Where'd you get that? Is that available in the UK? Can we buy that here? Where's that stuff? The whole weekend, fruits and vegetables, health benefits, talking about everything. But the audience seemed to get more excited and engaged by a jar of Daily Green Boost. Why? Because it's magical health in a packet, and people like that idea. And fruit's like, oh, fruit, yeah, I know about fruit, fruit. Yeah, fruit, need more fruit, what? I know, I should, I get it, I've heard this before. Yeah, I've heard this message. Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard him say that before. Yeah. Like, not really taking in the message, not really wanting to hear it. But Daily Green Boost, oh my God, where do I get that? I can get, oh my God. So that's why people are into it. It's some kind of weird thing. So Daily Green Boost makes a claim on their website: commercial agriculture has created some challenges for our food supply. Well, commercial agriculture has fed the world better than any other system that's ever worked. So there's 1.7 billion obese people. We're producing way more food than we need, and starvation is not a thing of the past all over the world, but is far less than ever happened, and that's partly a result of commercial agriculture. So in terms of it creating challenges, it's got rid of far more problems. Practices, they go on, practices such as planting the same crop across many acres, replanting the same crop over and over without allowing the soil to recover, and focus on quantity instead of quality of the food produced has resulted in food that is less nutritious than it once was years ago. So the last claim is incorrect. The food is not less nutritious because farmers don't do those things. Farmers aren't like bleeding, like maniac psychopath idiots that have somehow got into farming but know nothing about it. No, you go to a local farm. By the way, do you know that if you plant the same crop and the same thing over and over, do you know that that reduces the nutrients? Oh, I didn't know that. I'm a farmer, but I don't have a clue how any of this stuff works. Like, the farmers know this stuff. They taught us this stuff. Like, they know this more than anyone else. Like, what this idea that this farmer's like, I'm just going to put the same thing over and over on the same patch of soil. Like, that's not what they do. That's not what happens. And this is also about vast monocrop type farms that are used to feed animals in the food industry. Like, this is not food grown for human consumption, but who cares? Let's pretend that it is or whatever. So that's right, but that doesn't happen. Like, it's right that if you grow food in the same soil, but that's been known for a long time. maybe thousands of years. But people still made those made problems with that. Focusing on quantity instead of quality. Well, quantity is important. We need to, like, we can't have starving people. Like, this is that's the problem. We need to make more food. And the idea that food's less nutritious, there's not really strong evidence. There's no strong evidence basically to confirm that. What people have done is they've looked at measurements made in the 50s and measurements made now, and they've went, oh look, there's less of that, and there's less of that, and there's less of that. And the thing is, and these are very small studies, it's completely different fruits and vegetables. It's like carrots. Oh, look at carrots. Carrots. It's not the same. They're not grown in the same place. They're not the same variety. They're literally, some have come from another country. Like, they're comparing, literally comparing apples to oranges, you know, in this, not literally, but almost. Totally different. And part of the reason that there's a difference is because food has been grown for actually more nutrition. Because when you have more carbohydrate, that's more nutrition. It's just more of one particular very important nutrient. So the food now is grown as more carbohydrate. That means that leads to a reduced amount of certain other nutrients. But that's the reason. It's not because there's no nutrition in the soil. And it doesn't lead to there not being enough nutrition in that food to feed us with the nutrients. So there might be less in a carrot in the 1950s. Okay, there's less iron in the carrot today than the carrot of the past. But it's a different variety of carrot. If you grew that carrot from the past, it would be fine. Well, by the way, there's all sorts of other minerals and nutrients where there's more of. So it's not this consistent thing. And the truth is, not leading to any problems. There's not any iron deficiency isn't happening as a result of lack of iron. It's happening as a result of people having a bad diet. So it's not something to be worried about. But these products are sold on the basis of you believing that. And some of you, even with me explaining that, even if I show you the evidence, you will continue to say the soil is depleted because that's your like religious mantra around it. The soil is depleted. The farmers are putting the same food on the same land over and over, and it's depleted and there's no nutrients. And I need to have a supplement. And that's what's going to keep me healthy. And if you want to keep that, that's your religion, that's fair enough, but it's not real. Serious problems can occur when the body goes without the nutrients it needs. This is Daily Green Boost for a long period of time. Using Daily Green Boost regularly gives you the nutrients your food may be missing. Well, the first claim is right. Serious problems can occur when your body is, terrible problems can occur when your body is not getting the nutrients it needs. You can die very quickly if you're not getting the nutrients you need. But Daily Green Boost regularly gives you the nutrients your food may be missing. And there's no evidence around that statement. They've not backed that up in any way. It's a very vague statement in itself. Your food, it gives you nutrients your food may be missing. So anyway, we'll have a look at what nutrients are in Daily Green Boost. But I looked for evidence about barley grass juice powder. I found one study from China. It was kind of poorly written in English, obviously translated poorly. And it said that it was the best functional food ever. And it didn't seem like a very scientific statement to make. But there's a study there if you want to check that out. But I couldn't find much else. I went to Don Bennett's website. He's someone that talks about the benefits of barley grass juice powder and talks about Daily Green Boost. And Don makes a good point. He doesn't sell Daily Green Boost. He doesn't benefit from it financially. So he's not biased in that sense. But Don is also someone that's very rigorous in his factual information. And I was expecting to go over to this website because I can't find the studies and the research. I'm thinking, well, Don will have it. So I go over to Don's website, Health 101. Some good information there. You should go check that out. I didn't see him provide any information about the health benefits, about the research around the health benefits of Daily Green Boost or green powders or multivitamins or any of that stuff. So what he did say though was that he did do his own independent test, and he found that Daily Green Boost was the best in all categories. So if you're looking for a comparison, he says that, but he doesn't provide us with the where he got that information, what the testing was, who did it. I'm not sure why he didn't just publish that on his website, but it's not there. We have to take Don's word for it. And a lot of his recommendation seems to be that he's seen it be a benefit to himself, he's seen it being a benefit to others. But that's not highly evidential information. It's a theory, an opinion, fair enough. If you trust that he's absolutely accurate in that, then you maybe take that as highly evidential. And I just don't think that you can take a person's opinion to be as good as evidence. So, but you can go and check all that out yourself. So Daily Green Boost on the website says it contains magnesium, calcium, potassium, or it says barley grass juice powder is known to contain calcium, magnesium, potassium, enzymes, antioxidants, enzymes, superoxidase, dismutase, blah, blah, blah. Beta-carotene, chlorophyll, fiber, iron, vitamin K, vitamin C, riboflavin, niacin, thiamine, vitamin B12, folate, vitamin B6, pyridoxine, copper, zinc, essential fats, linoleic acid, palmitic acid, blah, blah, blah. Trace minerals. So all these things. And specifically though, Daily Green Boost on the website says high potency of vitamin A and vitamin K, a good source of B1 and C, trace amounts of vitamin B3, B6, B12, and vitamin E, and an excellent source of manganese, molybdenum, a good source of chromium. By the way, I'm not sure how they can claim on molybdenum. We're going to get to that. But it's an excellent source of molybdenum, but I'm not sure how they're claiming that. Good source of chromium, not sure how they're claiming that. Really not sure how they're claiming that. And we're going to get to that. And magnesium contains trace amounts of calcium, copper, phosphorus, and zinc. Okay, trace amounts. So what can it add to your diet? Well, a raw vegan diet or a vegan diet, we tend to be told by the vegan organizations, you've got to be concerned about B12 and maybe what about vitamin D if you're in a country you're not getting enough sunshine. Daily Green Boost is not really a good source of vitamin B12. It does say that it has a little bit of it, but you would not use this, and I don't think Don would recommend this as your source of B12. I don't think Daily Green Boost would recommend it as your source of B12, but it's maybe there in small amounts. So it's not the right thing to use for B12 deficiency. So for vegans concerned about B12, it's not the best source. Vitamin D is not in it, so it's not the best source. But it is a high source of vitamin A and vitamin K, is what it says, vitamin A and vitamin K. So are these nutrients of concern for raw vegans? So I put together, using Chronometer, I looked at a typical raw vegan diet for the day. So I put together a diet of 8 bananas, 1,000 grams of grapes, 500 grams of orange juice, 1 head of lettuce, half an avocado, 500 grams tomatoes, 1 small cucumber, 1 large pepper, 100 grams of corn. So you got a salad there, you got some fruit. That's about 2,200 calories of a raw vegan diet. That's a fairly typical low-fat raw vegan diet that many people could easily eat, and it's in line with about typical calorie levels for many people. In fact, there's more than for a lot of people. Let's look at the nutritional breakdown of that diet. Now, I've not done anything, no superfoods, nothing like special, not even any berries there. They're meant to be no sprouts added to it, no nuts or seeds there added to it. But had a look. Let's look at the vitamins. Let's have a look at the vitamins. In fact, let me share it with you, actually. Why don't we share the screen? Let's have a look at the vitamins. On that typical raw vegan diet, only 2,200 calories. Vitamin B1, 185% of your daily needs. Vitamin B2, 163%. Vitamin B3, more than we need. B5, more than we need. B6, more than we need. Folate, more than we need. Vitamin A, remember that one, vitamin A, which all the carnivores say, oh, you don't get any vitamin A in the raw vegan. We get beta carotene. We get plenty of that. Vitamin C. Oh, look, vitamin E, we're a little low on, only 88%. And vitamin K, we've got 300%. So vitamin K, we got 300%. Vitamin A, we got 485%, 4 times the amount we need. So Daily green boost is a good source of vitamin A and vitamin K, but we're getting all we need, it seems, from our typical easy raw vegan diet. Now, you might say chronometer's wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's using the information from the USDA, the available information that we've got. So if you don't trust the information, fine, but you must have another source of information that everyone else doesn't have. So what about some of the other vitamins? I think that they claimed for B1 and B6 and a few of the others, but we're getting all that in a raw vegan diet. Why do we need a boost? We've got more than enough. We've got more than enough of all these nutrients. And vitamin E, if you're worried about that, we can simply change this diet around a little bit and we'll get enough vitamin E quite easily. So the vitamins, not a problem in a raw vegan diet, vitamins. So let's go down to the minerals, because they're worried about the minerals. So I think, let's see, what does Daily Green Boost say that they're a good level of? Let's go back up. It says that they're a good level of iron, manganese, and molybdenum. So let's see if we need to check for those. Iron, manganese, molybdenum, chromium, and magnesium are a good source of, and calcium, copper, phosphorus, and zinc. Okay, let's have a look. So this is our typical day. The typical day that I've put down. The calcium is a little less than 50%. Might be worried about that. Copper, 125%. Iron, 159%. Magnesium. Now, Daily Green Boost said that they were a good source of magnesium, but we're only getting easily enough magnesium in a raw vegan diet. Manganese, easily enough. Phosphorus, easy enough. Potassium, easy getting enough. But look at this, selenium's a little low, zinc's only 50%, calcium's only 50%. So, and I think Daily Green Boost said it was a source of calcium and zinc, but not a high source. Let's see what they said actually. Let's see, what did they say? Trace amounts of calcium and zinc. Trace amounts of copper. We're getting way enough copper and phosphorus. But it's only got trace amounts. It's not really something we can rely on then for zinc and calcium. But it's a good source of chromium. Magnesium, we can see we got enough of. Manganese, we got enough of. Iron, we got enough of. We're fine with those. We're fine with copper and phosphorus. We're a little low on calcium, but it doesn't seem like Daily Boost would be good for that because it's only got a trace amount. Molybdenum, got loads of molybdenum apparently, and chromium. Interesting that they say that, Daily Green Boost. Kind of interesting. We'll get to that. Let's keep going. Excellent source of iron, magnesium, molybdenum. Well, let's have a look at molybdenum. Just can't find anything on a chronometer for molybdenum. No levels for it on chronometer. So I looked at this book, the Dietary References Intake, made by the Institute of Medicine in Washington, National Academies Press. Seems like a pretty well-researched book to me. You can have a look at it yourself. I've got a link to it in the book. Molybdenum deficiency has not been observed in many people. So we probably don't need to worry about molybdenum. Information and dietary intake on molybdenum is limited. Listen to this, because of lack of a simple, reliable analytical method for determining molybdenum. There's a lack of a simple, reliable analytical method for determining molybdenum. That's why it's not in chronometer. But they do suggest that the recommended daily allowance is about 45 micrograms a day, and most people are nearly double that. The tolerable upper limit is 2 milligrams a day. No, 2 milligrams, that was micrograms. Yeah. So it would appear that molybdenum is not a major dietary risk or deficiency risk. But it also seems that I'm not sure how they would claim to be a large source of molybdenum when we don't have a method of actually measuring it very well. So I'm not sure how they're claiming that. But it also says it's a good source of chromium and magnesium. Well, magnesium we're getting plenty of. We can see that in the chronometer details. What about chromium? Well, going back to that book, determining the chromium content in foods requires rigorous contamination control because standard methods of sample preparation contribute substantial amounts of chromium to the foods being analyzed. chromium is quite variable among different lots of foods and may be influenced by geochemical factors, blah, blah, blah. Chromium content in foods may increase or decrease with processing. But basically they're saying dietary chromium intakes cannot be determined from any currently existing databases. We don't have the data to know. Daily Green Bush somehow knows that they've got enough chromium, or they've got chromium, and they're a good source of chromium. But it seems like we can't actually measure chromium very reliably and accurately in food. So not sure they're saying that, but some studies have shown that processing reduces chromium. So you would suggest that you actually don't want to have processed products like Daily Green Boost if you want to get chromium, because it reduces the chromium. And even juicing, I think, reduces chromium. So turning it into a juice and powdering it reduces the chromium. But chromium deficiency has basically never been seen. It's only been seen in some people that were having intravenous food supply, and somehow they found these people to be suffering from, they had no chromium in the food that they were using, I guess, not enough. And it might be an issue for diabetes because there's some connection there with chromium and diabetes, but the raw vegan community doesn't have any diabetes problems. What about calcium, copper, phosphorus, zinc? Well, we can certainly say that there's not enough calcium and zinc in that, but by the way, that's just, that's not gospel truth. The chronometer numbers are not the gospel truth that you need to follow. But if we are to follow them, then we would say the calcium and zinc are looking a little low. But the Daily Green Boost is only saying it's trace amounts, so it doesn't sound like it'd be good. But we can change the diet around if we're worried about some of these nutrients. What happens if we add 700 grams of spinach instead of having iceberg lettuce? What happens if we substitute some of the bananas for blackberries and figs and a few different fruits? What we find is then our calcium goes up over 100%, no problems. Our copper, but all of these are things that we don't have reliable databases for, these 0%, so the chronometer doesn't measure them. Manganese over everything, phosphorus, potassium. Our zinc is now over 100% just by changing the diet a little bit. So if you're concerned about zinc, I don't think you should be, but you can do that. Sodium is always going to be low. It's measured in relation to people who eat a salt diet. So you're never going to have as much sodium as people that eat salt. You'd really struggle to anyway, because it's such a concentrated source. So I would say don't worry about sodium. Selenium often comes up as a little bit low. If you're really concerned about selenium, you can add 1 Brazil nut and it covers your selenium needs for the day, but it's really not something to worry about. Yeah, so yeah, 1 Brazil nut and you have like 200% of your selenium needs, but it's not really something to worry about. So that's what I'm seeing there with Daily Green Boost. Is that fair? Is that unfair? The claims have been made. Here's the nutrients we have. Here's the nutrients we're a good source of. They're claiming 2 nutrients, molybdenum and chromium, that it appears research suggests we don't actually have a good way of measuring the amount of it. How do we know there's a lot? Daily Green Boost, and most of these things aren't an issue, aren't a dietary issue, aren't a deficiency issue. So what are we getting from Daily Green Boost that we're not getting from fruits and vegetables? And what are we getting from any green powder barley product, grass juice powder product? I don't think we're getting anything. I think people should really be changing their mind on this and really be focusing on the fruits and vegetables and get away from this idea of worrying about their nutrition. And fruits and vegetables are the health foods. They're the most nutritious foods. They are the foods that we are recommended by every health authority to get your nutrition from whole foods, get your nutrition from fruits and vegetables. In the raw vegan movement, for us to go against the science, the very strong science that supplements don't work, the multivitamins don't work, there's nothing around the science around basically around green powders to suggest that a green grass powder product works or helps us with our health. Why would we have a message that's so anti-science, anti-reality, and actually scares people away from eating fruits and vegetables and casts a negative that is wrong, and cast a negative opinion on fruits and vegetables, which is wrong. It's wrong to say that there's not enough nutrition in our food anymore. That's just not correct. It's a myth. It comes from the supplement industry. It's time to put away the supplements and provide people with the education that they need to change their diet and lifestyle. If you want more information about that, if you want to read the studies, if you want to get the links to all that, you get it in my book, Raw Vegan Myths Debunked, Part 2. It's part of the Raw Vegan Bundle. At the moment, you can check it on the link below for that, and I highly encourage you to go and have a look at that. But thank you for watching this video. Please share, comment below, share it with others. Let me know what you think about it, and I'll see you in the next video.